Thank you.
Oh boy! Yeah!
Okay, finally. Can we play as Princess Peach now? Yay! Princess Peach has been introduced as the archetypical damsel in distress. While some would say that Nintendo has gone woke by making her a girl boss with pants, she was playable in the immediate next game she was in. Yes, Doki Doki Panic, I know. But this translated to Princess Toadstool becoming this strong, no-nonsense action heroine alongside the bros, only to soften up in later games. So, one game, damsel, another game, heroine. Perfectly balanced, and she even got a lead role in 2 games. Eat your heart piece out, Zelda! So for our Mario-themed DC20 campaign, we need her on the party. Oh, right, what's DC20? Did you not see our previous video? DC20 is a TTRPG currently in beta created by the YouTuber Dungeon Coach, hence the name of the game. The game promises faster, more engaging combat, more meaningful choices, and varied and viable character customization. Today we're going to continue our level 4 characters from the Mario franchise using 0.9.5 rules.
Sweet!
Now I could just go monk again, but I want to build her to capture her magical powers. Some of these powers are explained with a new helper character, and others are unexplained. So the obvious magic class for someone who can sing, dance, and host elegant parties is the Bard. And that's great, because the Bard's spell list is restricted to supportive spells like Heal and Sleep, which are spells that she gets in the Super Mario RPG. There's also Tethering Vines, which, sure, her tears can grow large plants. Bless is the closest thing to a damage boost, as it grants allies a d4 every turn to use on any roll. Light is there because it's also a princess thing, and I guess Message just is a convenient way to talk to Mario telepathically and invite him over for cake. Minor Illusion is there for the flair, and Command is, well, she is supposed to be a benevolent ruler, but you never know. On top of that, the Bard's remarkable repertoire lets us cheat her spell list to pick 2 of any spell in the game. So now we can give her Ice Flower and Fire Flower power. Or we can pick Flame Shield as a reference to Super Princess Peach again. These are all spells that she'll be learning by level 4. We're spending 1 path point in both martial and spellcasting paths again. Remarkable Repertoire also gives her 2 more skill points and lets her change the casting components of any spell to vocal or somatic. The problem is, none of these spells have listed components in the current beta version. There is a workaround, but 0.10 is right around the corner, so don't bother. The other Bard feature is Font of Inspiration, and now I have to explain the help action. You may remember bards in D&D have inspiration dice that they can hand out to players a limited amount of time. Well now, all players of all classes can spend 1 action point on their turn to grant a D8 to another creature that they can then use on their next immediate check. You need to declare what the help dice is used for, and it lasts until the start of your next turn. For attack checks, you need to declare what the target is, and you need to be right next to the attacker or the target of the attack. If you are helping with a skill or trait check, you need to say what skill or trait you are using to help, and you need at least novice level mastery with that skill or trait. Peach here, however, can use the help action on any creature in 10 space radius, and she can use it as a reaction, meaning she can stand far away and wait for Mario to attack before tossing a help die, rather than telling him to attack the creature that is likely carrying her off during her turn. Now, it is best to use this once per turn, because every time she uses it again, the dice shrinks in size to a d6 and then a d4. Oh right, there's also this flavor feature, Crowd Pleaser. She can distract a crowd for a while. That's pretty cool. Going over trades, attributes, skills, and traits. Peach is human, yeah, but I'm gonna pick Angelborn as her second ancestry, as it's thematically related, and we want a glide speed. This trait says that you have wings, but she can just float naturally with her skirt, I guess. And it also lets her move horizontally in the air and take no controlled fall damage. Charisma is her obvious prime modifier. Might can be her dump stat, but we'll give it a -1 as well. Let's go with 2 in agility and 1 intelligence. Then we'll pick awareness, athletics, acrobatics, animal, influence, insight, investigations, and medicine. Then leave stealth for level 3. We'll make theater her expertise, because I like to believe that she was a capable actress before Princess Peach Showtime gave her these different roles to play. She's just a natural at it. And if you prefer, cooking, history, or vehicles could be your expertise. Be my guest. Alright, and bards get one weapon. I will pick Parasol, which will be a staff-style weapon with the versatile and guard properties. Level 2, and this comes with Bardic Performance. Pick an effect. Spend 1 action point and 1 mana point to buff your team, so long as they can see or hear you, and they are within 10 spaces. Speed increase, damage increase, temporary hit points, or resistance to Charm, Frightened, Intimidated, or Taunted. You can swap the effects with a single action point. Does Peach do any of this in her games? Nope, but it wouldn't be out of character for her. Moving on! For her talent, we need monk training so that she can keep up with the bros. We will need to spend the first talent point on the martial path, which is worth discussing. If you start as a spellcaster and do this, you will get a martial welcome package. You get access to 3 attack maneuvers, power, reach, and sweep, and you will get access to the weapon styles. So now, Peach's Parasol gets +1 damage on hindered foes. With these path points, we're also getting 1 stamina point, and the sidestep maneuver, which will be our sort of pseudo-uncanny dodge, with the bonus of letting her move 1 space. Then we'll get the heroic leap technique as well. Now, pretend to forget all this, because it's changing in 0.10. Level 3, baby! We get to pick a subclass, and this time, we got something good for Peach. Eloquence Bard is here to give the Diva persona power. With Enthrall, she will learn the Befriend cantrip, which can inflict the Charmed condition, which will make it so that she has advantage on charisma checks on that creature, and the charmed creature cannot target her with harmful effects. It normally ends when a creature takes damage, but not with this feature. Misleading Muse will let her make a reaction to charm a creature that attacks you while they are within your bardic performance range. Now, Peach has charmed many a Koopa in her days, intentionally or not, so why not weaponize it? Mind Game makes it so that when a charmed creature ends the charmed condition, they will take 1 emotional damage. Eloquence or Innate lets her speak to any creature regardless of language boundaries. Oh, right, languages. That's a thing on the character sheet I have ignored up until now. Do you guys actually play with languages at your table? No? Then we will keep ignoring it. But we are not going to ignore the attribute boost to agility, +2 mana, and additional skills, trades, and spells to learn. And finally, level 4. We're getting Wild Form again. See our previous video on how Wild Form works. I will add some advice. If you are GMing a group using these characters, your players may be indecisive or will save their wild shape after they need it. To encourage use of it, try having some clues on what power-ups you might want them to use, like include obstacles from the games that the power-ups were used for, like Home Bee Honey, Wiltering Flowers, or steel-gated walls that can be knocked over to make bridges. You can also just have the power-ups in the scene if you really want to railroad them. Just remember, if you trick them into picking the wrong power-ups, they can still change out of it, but you will lose their trust. We're also getting a mana increase under the Angelborn and Unbreakable from the Human at level 4, and the remaining 2 spells from our spellcasting path. Because Peach has so much mana, she can now have 6 wild forms with 5 trait points available at all times, which is nuts! We could have taken the martial path again, and doing so would grant her a special Spellcaster Stamina regen, which lets her regain half of her stamina whenever she uses a spell enchantment, as in spending additional action points or mana points on a spell. But then we also only get 1 maneuver, no stamina or techniques. 0.10, please change this. Okay, that's our 3 characters. But a party of 4 is standard, so we will need another member. I pick Toad.
Toad?
Yeah, he was part of the original 4 from Mario Bros. 2. Plus, it's another monk. I can copy and paste Luigi's kit.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
yeah, definitely.
We will be making changes, like we're going to give him all halfling traits, including small size, halfling bravery, elusive, death footwork, and creature knowledge to pair with Beast Whisperer. For fun! But then we'll need to swap out Mantis style for Wolf stance, since now he will be too small to grapple most things. I'm also going to swap out Bear stance for Cobra stance, as a sort of counteract stance. And to pair with that, I'm swapping Whirlwind for Forbearance, so he can emulate Peach's neutral special. We're also getting him Fount of Inspiration for his level 2 trait instead of Roguish Cunning, because he's a helpful fun guy. Oh, and we'll swap the hammer out for a pickaxe, and a plunger for a frying pan. And there's some other skills and trades and whatever. Look at that. Easy peasy Toad build. It's just another monk with a focus solely on support. Hey, that's all. Yeah, video over. Look at that. We're done. Oh boy, King Koopa, Supreme Turtle, Conqueror of the World. Having him be the big bad of your campaign is obvious, but sometimes that gets stale. Like, oh, it's Bowser, but he's really big. Oh, it's Bowser, but he got a magic star. Oh, it's Bowser, but cat. The crazy stories is when he's not the lead antagonist. These games have him playing as support, while others, like Super Mario RPG, Super Paper Mario, and Mario & Luigi's Bowser's Inside Story plus Bowser Jr.'s Journey, let him be actually playable. So why not play as him in DC20? Showtime! Not to leave you in suspense, but we're making Bowser a barbarian with Dragonborn and Beastborn ancestries. His Ming is maxed, his Int is in, and his Car is followed by his Zhu. Only using skill proficiencies in athletics and intimidation. That last one is important because we're getting the Dragonborn ancestry trait Reptilian Superiority, which I assume works on Koopas. Speaking of, the Dragonborn ancestry is all about breathing fire, natural defense, guardian loyalty, and dark vision. While Beastborn, as you know, is everything that makes a wild animal. I can see this being a popular combination. First, we need an elemental or mystical damage type to be his Draconic damage type. Obviously, fire! Second, we pick Draconic Breath, the area of effective attack dealing fire damage. We can pick a cone or a line or direct it to a single target for more damage. It's great, but the issue is that he can only do this once for a long rest. Not the best, but since he is a barbarian, he wouldn't normally have an attack like this. Then there's natural weapons from the Beastborn, giving him claws and a spiked tail. And to further increase his bulk, we'll give him thick skin to increase his AD. He can then get hard shell to further increase his AD, but now lower his speed by 1. This trait comes with a bonus of being unable to be flanked, which is when one or more foe surrounds you, and then they get +2 attack bonus to hit. We'll then look at Barbarian's big feature, Rage. He can spend 1 action point and 1 stamina point to enter Rage for 1 minute. While in Rage, he deals 1 more damage with all melee weapons, including his natural ones. He gets resistance to all physical and elemental damage types, meaning he halves the damage, but then he also loses 5 PD. Bowser tends to be overconfident in his battles, leaving him open to attacks for Mario to exploit. With a lower PD, he's more likely to get heavy hit, but then that damage is halved anyway. And to make this better, he will regain his stamina whenever he heavy hits a foe, or a foe heavy hits him back. This downside can be an upside. And to add to the power, Berserker is a feature that gives him a few passive buffs similar to the Monk's training, with Charge! Not to be confused with the Beastborn trait, lets him move 2 spaces towards a foe as part of a melee weapon attack, closing the distance. Then, because he can't wear armor with that shell, he gets 2 more AD and +1 speed. Hey, we're back to 5 speed now. He gets to use his might instead of agility for jump distance and fall damage. Bowser has been surprisingly good at jumping since the first game, so this is good too. And for his flavor feature, Shatter Force. Bowser gets an automatic crit on any inanimate objects or structure. Unless the GM has planned the HP of every object in the scene, this means he can just break anything, punch through blocks, destroy castles, accidentally break bridges and glass so that you fall into lava. It's epic! By the way, one of the Dragonborn ancestry traits we could have given him was Fire Resistance. But he already gets that, and many more with Rage. So make sure that you are angry when this tragedy inevitably happens. So Bowser doesn't regularly use weapons, so I had to do some digging. For the mandatory ranged weapons, I picked the throwing hammers, because he used those in the first game. Then there's this huge hammer from Skylander Supercharged. Man, look at that. Man, it's so cool. And then I guess he had his own plunger weapon he stole from Mario in the same cartoon that Mario got with Plumber Snake. However, we do have natural weapons that deal slashing or piercing damage, but not bludgeoning, i.e. just punching. So let's break convention and give him a fist weapon. We can pretend it's his wrist brace that amplifies his punching power. This weapon counts as a free hand and deals 1 bludgeoning damage, unlike an unarmed strike. We will give it the impact and guard property. So he wears this weapon on his left hand, and then his claw attack is on his right hand. While in Rage, that's 2 attacks dealing 2 damage with no multiple action penalty. Here's one way we can avoid giving him just 2 fist weapons. Oh right, maneuvers! Here they are on the screen. Look at them all. Yeah! And the last thing we need to discuss is trades. Since he doesn't have trade expertise, we can spend 3 trade points on vehicle. Not just because of Mario Kart, but because of his airships and flying clown copter that he rides in many of the mainline games. That would be it, but I saved a skill point to convert into 2 more trade points. Why? Well, there's 2 trades we now need. First, thanks to the new Mario Galaxy trailer, we've got to get Illustrator. Bowser! And second, he's got to get Musician. Did you forget Bowser's hit single, Peaches?
I got my peaches out in Georgia.
That's not it.
Millions of peaches, peaches for free.
No, come on, how did you forget?
Peach, you're so cool.
Yeah, that's the one. Now stop playing it so that we don't get copyright claimed.
Peach.
Okay, level 2 time. Barbarian's level 2 feature is Battle Cry. He spends 1 stamina point to give himself and all his allies a boost. All of these effects disappear at the start of his next turn. Fury Shout will boost the damage of their next attack by 1. Urgent Shout will boost their speed by 1. And Fortify Shout basically reduces the damage of the next immediate attack by 1. It is weird that the Soul Carry Fighter has a support ability, but 1, he gets the boost too, and 2, this balances out his kit to provide a potential team leader role. Quick side tangent, I honestly think that the Monk was the one martial class without any team play capability outside of maneuvers and techniques, but those can be combined with both stances and key actions, as we've seen in our Toad build. Plus, a Monk in one of my games ended the encounter by delivering the Monk, so their mobility is also their team playing ability. As for Bowser, this is just great to embody his role as a king. If he was surrounded by his minions and used this, that's a lot of damage from each Goomba strike. In fact, let's put a pin in this. For now, I bet you want more fire. We are taking the Spellcaster path and picking the Druid spell list again, and picking up Firebolt and Burning Flame. Now he can spit fire loogies at any time, and can emulate the Dragon Breath. Just needs to spend 1 MP to do so. As for his talent, I am picking Sorcerer's Innate Power. This feature boosts Bowser's mana by 1 and grants a free mana enhancement once per long rest. He can only use this on cantrip enhancements at this level, but next level, he can use it on Burning Flames. We then have to pick a sorcerer's origin. It's never explained how Bowser was born or how he is a king of a kingdom. If Peach became a princess by just being adopted by the Mushroom Kingdom as a whole, what are the odds that Bowser just invented his kingdom by being a fire-breathing dragon at birth and then bullying everyone? Like Kamek. I can see you raised a respectable warlord that cares a moderate amount for his kingdom. But he started like this, and you enabled it. This is on you. Oops, tangent. There are 3 origins to pick from. Intuitive Magic will let him learn another spell and cantrip from your Sorcerer's spell list, which could match the Druids, Clerks, or Wizards. We already picked Druid earlier, so I guess we have to do that. I will pick Flame Blade so that he can ignite his fists or tail in flame for fun. And Fog Cloud, which we can reflavor as a Smoke Cloud and use it as a convenient escape plan or a flourished entrance. One of the other 2 origins is Resilient Magic, which gives us advantage against the Daze condition, which not only is he very prone to take head trauma, this is only really good if you plan on using sustain spells, which Fog Cloud is his only one, and we got that through the other origin, so yeah, no. And the third one is Unstable Magic, which, nope, not today. Level 3, Subclass time! And there's a really good subclass, with Elemental Fury Barbarian. This lets him pick either Cold, Lightning, Fire, or Physical to attune your powers to. Fire would be the obvious pick for Bowser, but we did get him the Draconic Breath and a couple of fire spells. So I'd like to pick Physical instead. This is supposed to represent the traditional fantasy elements that don't have a damage type, like Earth, Wind, Water, Grass, or the Force. For Bowser, it will be a Shockwave, Earthquakes, and Loud Roars. Whenever we deal this elemental damage, he can pick from Piercing, Slashing, or Bludgeoning damage. He gains 2 space radius of Fury, which gives him the following benefits. If a creature in his aura hits them with an attack, they take Fury damage. This explains why Mario takes damage by just touching the guy. He can also spend 1 AP and 1 SP to make a burst of Fury damage in his radius, hitting all the foes or just one for 3 times the damage. So that's just him slamming the ground to make it shake. On top of that, he can pick 1 extra effect for his aura. The 2 most fitting is Stunning Aura, which can stop creatures from using reactions if they fail a save, and Pushing Aura, which will make it so that his burst can knock those back. The subclass's Flavor feature also gets him exhaustion from the elements and increases the volume of his voice, and can let him make harmless earthquakes or sandstorms, etc. We also need to pick a technique. Heroic Bash is a souped-up knockback attack. In addition to making a melee attack, the creature that fails its saving throw gets knocked back horizontally up to 3 spaces, plus 1 additional space for every 5 it fails by the save. Quick advice, if a creature you knock collides into a wall, any space it fails to move is converted into bludgeoning damage. Now for 4 spaces, it moves 2 spaces and hits a wall, it then takes 3 damage. At this point, he also gets 1 more attribute. Quick ability, 1 more stamina point, 1 more skill. Let's go with Insight. He might not be able to take a hint or avoid scams, but he can use it to make a gut feeling, which I assume is how he has gotten this far with his empire. And 1 more trade point. I'll pick Theater, because of Dance Dance. No, wait! Bowser Live! Look at him, hosting a PlayStation iToy game show. And now at level 4, we get 2 more Ancestry traits. I'm going to pick Powerful Build, which we could have picked up much earlier, so that he can lift things beyond the normal might. But I'm also giving him the negative trait Reckless to lower his PD further than what Rage already does. Remember that we still have Guard on his wrist rate. This is so that we can get Shell Retreat. he can spend 1 action point to retreat into and then come back out of his shell. He gains +1 PD and AD, PDR, EDR, and advantage on might saves. While in your shell, you are prone, you can't move, and you have disadvantage on agility saves and can't take reactions. It's a shame that he can't roll around in his shell, but you could let someone, like Mario, take the shove action and knock him into enemies like bowling. You can purposely fail any save or check you are forced to make, which makes it so that being grappled by an ally can be a rescue plan. When you willingly fail a save or check, the result is 0. So if Mario's athletics bonus is 6 at level 4, if he rolls, say 13, that's 20 in total. For every 5 he fails, that's an extra 1 space, so Bowser is shoved 4 spaces. And if he collides into a foe, the bludgeoning damage is shared between the foe that he runs into. So then the foe would take 2 damage, and Bowser will only take 1, thanks to Rage's bludgeoning damage resistance. Next, we will tackle half points, and guess what? Martial time. With +1 stamina, another maneuver, let's go with Protect. I'm sure he learned to be humble by now. And a technique. I'm thinking Heroic Leap. Yeah, Bowser's a good jumper, but if I wanted to make a lethal landing and make a shockwave like in the games, I can just use Elemental Fury Burst immediately as I land. Elemental Burst is also a better version of Whirlwind 2, with increased range and reduced action point costs, even though we could use a melee weapon that is then boosted by Rage, for even more damage, sure. And we get Heroic Taunt instead. A big area contest against all creatures in 5 spaces to taunt them is pretty good. It is weird that we can use attack checks or intimidation checks and not just influence checks, but you know what? This works in our favor. And finally, Talent. Do we give Bowser Wild Form because he used power-ups before, like the Mega Mushroom, the Mini Mushroom, the Cat Bell, and even the Nope! Keep that thing in the dungeon. Yeah, Bowser doesn't make regular use of these. Plus, going into a wild form will remove all his class features, spells, and turtle power. We need to look elsewhere, and perhaps at that that pin we put up a while back. You know, Bowser using his rally cry to lead an army of Goombas? It's time to lead into Bowser's commanding powers with Commander's Call from the Commander's class. Yes, DC20 has a class original to it and not from D&D. They just had to sacrifice the Paladin to make it. I kid. For those who don't know and are crying right now, don't worry. The Paladin is a subclass of the Spellblade. Go give that a read before you write this game off, please. Now, Commander's Call costs 1 action point and 1 stamina point to give a command to a creature within 5 spaces, and they can willingly choose to do this reaction for free. You're basically giving a creature your action points to act outside of their turn. You can have them attack with advantage, take the full dodge action, or move up to their speed without provoking opportunity attacks. Now, the unfortunate thing is that Bowser doesn't have enough action points to call his army to charge! So he'll have to use Rallying Cry to give them more damage or movement, and then have them act on their turn. This is really just good for comboing with flanking mechanics, saving someone's bacon, or giving 1 extra hit on a guy, which, would Bowser let anyone get the kill? No, he would make someone else attack so that he can steal the kill. How diabolical. And with that, we have done Bowser. He's a tank with hard-hitting damage and area of effects attacks, with a bonus of scaring people and commanding allies. You can now use this full team of heroes to take on, well, I guess usually it would be Bowser that they fight. So, a Warlock? Aliens? The concept of darkness? I don't know. That's up for your GM to decide. It's also up to your friends to play these characters too, and for scheduling to work out. Well, until fate has arrived, you can request other DC20 builds that you won't get to play as in the comments below. Do you want Donkey Kong, Daisy, Wario, Kamek, maybe? Yoshi? Don't pick Yoshi. It would just be another monk build with the restrain maneuver being the closest thing you can get to Vor. Or you can comment any other character outside of the Marioverse. No guarantees. By the way, this wasn't supposed to be a two-parter. I underestimated my work speed and thought I couldn't finish this before 0.10, potential release on Christmas Day. Well, now I have to work on the next video that will be using 0.10. Don't expect it till January. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and hype. And I'll see you guys next time.